Is Nigeria on the brink of an economic breakthrough or further turmoil? Faced with escalating challenges, Tinubu has approved a whopping $2.25 billion injection into the economy, sourced from the World Bank. This urgent financial boost aims to enhance revenue, support crucial economic reforms, and tackle the severe cost of living crisis gripping the nation. Will these moves stabilize the economy, reduce interest rates, and provide the much-needed credit lines to businesses of all sizes? Let's unpack the impact of Tinubu's policies on Nigeria's economic landscape and find out if this ambitious plan is the key to Nigeria's financial revival. Supporting economic recovery. Have you heard about the latest twist in Nigeria's economic saga? Enter Chidiebere Ogbenaya, a newly minted professor of human resource management at King's Business School in London. He's not just your typical academic. He's stepping into the spotlight with a hefty dose of UK government funding aimed at driving Nigeria's economic recovery. Ogbenaya's mission? To develop actionable policies alongside international researchers, government agencies, and policy experts. This collaboration is vital as Nigeria faces its economic roller coaster, requiring both urgent fixes and long-term strategies to stabilize and kickstart the economy. Debt and borrowing. A heavy burden. When Bola Tinubu took office, he inherited a mountain of debt from his predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari. In the final days of Buhari's administration, a whopping 22,700 billion naira was converted from borrowing from the Central Bank of Nigeria into bonds. This move ballooned Nigeria's debt to 69 trillion naira, pushing the debt service to revenue ratio to a staggering 73.5%. Imagine being in a financial bind where most of your income goes towards paying off debt. That's the situation Nigeria found itself in. The Debt Management Office pointed out that this debt level surpasses the recommended threshold of 50% due to low revenue, making it imperative for the government to significantly boost its revenue streams. With limited room for further borrowing, Tinubu's administration had to get creative. They needed alternative strategies to stimulate the economy without plunging deeper into debt. Fiscal reforms and their impact. So, what's been shaking up Nigeria's economic landscape? Let's dive into the fiscal reforms under President Tinubu. One of the most dramatic changes was the removal of petrol subsidies. This policy, which once kept fuel prices in check but drained the national budget, was scrapped. The immediate fallout? Petrol prices skyrocketed, transportation and production costs soared, and everyday Nigerians felt the sting as the cost of living shot up. Picture this: chaos at the gas stations and a sudden wave of inflation. Pretty intense, right? But that's not all. Tinubu's administration also ditched the naira's peg to the US dollar, letting it float freely. This move caused the naira to plunge, making imported goods even more expensive and adding to the economic strain. Inflation reached 34% high, and poverty levels followed suit. Perspectives on Tinubu's reforms. Now, let's talk about perspectives. Ogbenaya suggests that while these policy changes were unavoidable, their rapid and somewhat jarring implementation could have been smoother. His research underlines the need for well-thought-out institutional support and a more gradual approach to policy shifts to ease economic shocks and support social welfare. On the flip side, fans of Tinubunomics argue that although these reforms are tough, they're a necessary medicine for Nigeria's long-term health. The removal of petrol subsidies is expected to free up funds for crucial infrastructure and social services, paving the way for future growth. Allowing the naira to float is seen as a step towards a more accurate exchange rate, potentially drawing in foreign investors who were put off by the old, artificial currency controls. Attracting foreign direct investment. Realizing that borrowing wasn't a viable option, the government pivoted towards attracting investments from abroad. This move wasn't just about bringing in money, it was about building partnerships and fostering growth in key sectors. In the first year alone, Tinubu's administration secured several high-profile investment deals. Indian investors pledged $14 billion in sectors such as steel, petrochemicals, power generation, and military equipment manufacturing. These investments are more than just numbers on a balance sheet. They represent a vote of confidence in Nigeria's economic potential. In November, at the Saudi Africa Summit in Riyadh, Tinubu inked deals with the Saudi government. These included providing foreign exchange support to boost liquidity in Nigeria's currency market and a commitment from Saudi oil giant Aramco to help overhaul Nigeria's state-owned oil refineries. Germany also came into play with a $500 million investment in renewable energy and gas export agreements. These deals signify a strategic shift towards sustainable energy sources and a diversified economy. Monetary policy and inflation. Next up, let's tackle the thorny issue of inflation. Tinubu's administration, determined to tame the inflation beast, saw the Central Bank of Nigeria aggressively hike the benchmark interest rate by 775 basis points. Most of this hike, 600 points, came in the first quarter of 2024 alone. Now, raising interest rates is a classic move to combat inflation. But here's the catch. While it aims to cool down the economy, it also makes borrowing more expensive. Businesses, already grappling with high operational costs, found themselves in a bind. Many had no choice but to pass these costs on to consumers, further stoking inflationary pressures. Despite these efforts, inflation remained stubbornly high, peaking at 33.7% in April 2024. The cost of essentials like food, energy, and transportation continued to rise, exacerbated by the removal of fuel subsidies and the depreciation of the naira. CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso emphasized that the focus would be on fighting inflation rather than controlling the money supply. Yet, despite a series of rate hikes, month-on-month inflation didn't decline. This highlighted the complex nature of Nigeria's inflation problem, one that required more than just monetary policy tools. Exchange rate policy, navigating rough waters. One of the boldest moves by Tinubu's administration was the unification of Nigeria's multiple exchange rates. For years, Nigeria had maintained a complex system of multiple exchange rates, which was vulnerable to diverse pressures. The goal was to attract foreign investors and boost the supply of dollars in the economy. The Central Bank of Nigeria collapsed the multiple exchange windows into one, moving away from a managed float regime. This allowed the naira to trade more freely and find its true market value. But the journey was anything but smooth. Barely 2 weeks into Tinubu's administration, the naira was allowed to weaken by 36% against the US dollar. By June 14th, the exchange rate had plummeted to 750 naira per dollar, compared to 460 naira and 72 kobo on May 29th. The naira ended 2023 at 1,041 naira per dollar, making it the world's third worst performing currency. This sharp depreciation hit businesses hard, especially those reliant on imports. Multinationals like Procter & Gamble, GlaxoSmithKline, and Bayer AG exited the Nigerian market, while others like Nestle and MTN Nigeria reported significant losses. In January 2024, the naira underwent another devaluation, falling by 31%. By May 2024, the naira had slid to a near 2-month low of 1,534 against the dollar. Despite these challenges, the CBN made significant strides, such as clearing a backlog of overdue foreign exchange obligations and attracting foreign portfolio investments. Stock market performance. A silver lining. Amidst the economic turbulence, Nigeria's stock market showed remarkable resilience. Investor-friendly reforms, such as the removal of fuel subsidies, boosted market confidence. Pension funds and institutional investors played a significant role in driving market activities. Between the start of Tinubu's administration and May 2024, Nigerian stocks yielded an impressive 85.2%. This surge was driven by the anticipation of economic reforms and the influx of foreign investments. The stock market became a beacon of hope, reflecting the potential for economic recovery. Economic reforms. Despite these positive strides, Tinubu's administration faces a long road ahead. The challenges are immense, and the solutions require time, patience, and strategic planning. One key area of focus is fiscal policy. Tinubu's administration aims to raise revenue through various means, including tax reforms and broadening the tax base. Strengthening the foreign exchange market and boosting investor confidence are also top priorities. Bola Edun, the Minister of Finance, emphasized the importance of attracting investment funds and equity rather than relying on debt. This approach aims to create a more sustainable economic model and reduce the burden of debt servicing. Another critical aspect is ensuring that economic policies translate into tangible benefits for ordinary Nigerians. The cost of living crisis, driven by high inflation and a weakened naira, continues to strain households. Addressing these challenges requires a multifaceted approach, including targeted social interventions and policies to boost disposable income. The path forward. As we navigate the complexities of Nigeria's economic landscape, one thing is clear: there are no quick fixes. Economic recovery is a marathon, not a sprint. Tinubu's administration has laid the groundwork for long-term growth, but patience and strategic planning are essential. The lessons from other countries, like Argentina's reduction of ministers, highlight the importance of efficient governance. Nigeria's size and complexity require tailored solutions that address its unique challenges. Tinubu's focus on appraisal and performance evaluation of ministers reflects a commitment to accountability. Ensuring that the right people are in the right positions is crucial for effective governance. Hope on the horizon. The success of Tinubu's policies will depend on sustained efforts to boost revenue, stabilize the naira, and create an environment conducive to investment. Nigerians must exercise patience and support the government's efforts to navigate these turbulent times. Remember, economic recovery is a journey, and every step counts. Together, we can build a stronger, more resilient Nigeria. So, what do you think about President Tinubu's $2.25 billion economic injection and his bold reforms? Will these changes be enough to steer Nigeria towards stability and growth, or are there more hurdles ahead? We'd love to hear your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button. For more deep dives, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.